friend. Welcome to our Best of Summer series here on the Not Your Average Autism Mom podcast. So, summer looks a little different around here because let's be honest, routines change, schedules get messy, kids are home more, therapies shift, and life can feel a little extra full this time of year. So, instead of adding more to your plate, I wanted to give you a chance to revisit some of our most impactful, most downloaded, and most shared episodes from the past several years. These are the conversations that really resonated with moms in our community, the ones that made you feel seen and understood, supported, and a little less alone on this parenting journey that none of us planned. So, whether this is your first time hearing this episode, or maybe you're listening again from a completely different season of life and parenting perspective, I hope it gives you exactly what you need today. And don't forget, there are over 270 episodes waiting for you in our podcast library. So summer is the perfect time to go back and binge listen and catch up on episodes that you might have missed or revisit ones that hit home for you before. They are in no particular order, so just scroll through and find episodes that resonate with you where you are right now. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's jump into this week's Best of Summer episode. Episode 234, Stop Chasing Calm, the Truth About Regulation. Well, hey, friend. Welcome to the Not Your Average Autism Mom podcast. I am your host, Shannon Urquiola, and I am so glad you're here, whether you're watching me on video or you're listening in like always. And if we haven't met yet, I am the proud mom of two amazing young adults. My son Jordan, who's 29 now, was diagnosed with autism when he was 5 years old. So I've been walking this journey a long time, not just as his mom, but as his guardian and caregiver. And I created this podcast because I know how hard and lonely this road can feel. I've lived it, and I want to be the space where you can breathe and learn and feel seen. Every week, I share real life strategies and heartfelt encouragement and practical tools that have helped me and the moms I coach along the way. From managing meltdowns to navigating school systems, celebrating wins, big or small, or just getting through the hard days. We talk about it all here. And now you can join me on video too. So if you're a visual learner, or maybe you just want to feel a little more connected, it's like we're having a face-to-face conversation. Also, I know that your time is limited, so I do my best to keep these episodes to 20 minutes or less. Quick enough to fit into your day, but enough to make a difference in your life. So grab your coffee, or let's be real, reheat it again, because we're in this together. You're in the right place, so let's get into this week's episode. I wanted to talk about this topic now because so many moms in our community have told me that they feel like they're failing because they can't stay calm. And I get it. This time of year, between school transitions, sensory overload, and just everyday life, it's almost impossible not to lose it sometimes. Trust me, I am guilty. So I want to start by talking about what I like to call the myth of calm. We hear it all the time. Just stay calm. Don't let them see you lose it. But what if I told you that calm isn't actually the goal? And let's be real, if calm was the ultimate goal, we'd all be sitting in a Zen garden with lavender tea, not in the school pickup line with 3 emails from the IEP team and a child screaming about their socks. What if I told you that always trying to appear calm might actually be doing more harm than good? Because here's the truth. Calm is not the same thing as regulated. When we confuse those two, you set yourself up to feel like failures as parents, especially in the home where there's a lot of dysregulation. Calm is sometimes a byproduct of regulation, but regulation, the ability to stay grounded, let's start with the truth. Our children often match our emotions. If you've ever noticed your child getting more agitated as you get louder or more frustrated, as you get overwhelmed, that's not a coincidence. Think of yourself as the emotional thermostat. If you raise the temperature, the room gets hotter. If you stay steady and cool, it invites everyone else to do the same. And I want to say this. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You're allowed to feel overwhelmed. You're allowed to be human. Regulation is about having control over your emotions and behaviors so you can respond in a way that's appropriate for the moment. Calm is just one nervous system state, and it's not always the right or realistic one. And here's the problem with chasing calm. When you make calm the ideal, you end up bypassing your real emotions just to keep up appearances. So we slap on a fake smile, we speak in that forced mom voice, and we act like everything's fine when it's not. And our kids, guess what? They feel that. And listen, if calm was the goal, none of us would survive a week of IEP meetings and sibling arguments and the Target meltdown, right? Our brains are wired to scan for safety. One of the biggest signals that something isn't safe is when your words and your body don't match. Our kids pick up right away when our words and body don't match. You can say, "I'm fine," all you want, but if your tone is sharp and your shoulders are tense, they know something's up. And that mismatch, it doesn't feel safe to their nervous system. That's often when behavior tends to escalate. I want to share a quick story. I coached a mom who said, I know all the stuff. I know my kids' feelings aren't the problem. It's the lack of skills. I know I'm supposed to teach the skills, but when my kid has a tantrum, all of that knowledge just goes right out the door. I yell. I say things I swore I'd never say. And when I asked her how her parents handled her big emotions, she said to me, "I have no idea. I don't remember." And here's the thing I told her. Your mind doesn't remember, but your body does. Our reactions in those moments, they're not random. They are body memories from old experiences replaying themselves. So when her child melted down, her nervous system responded the way it learned to decades ago. Shut it down, get control, stop the noise. And if you don't do the work to address your own triggers, no parenting strategy will work in the moment because your body will slam the door on those strategies the second your nervous system is activated. Think about this. You walk into a meltdown. They're screaming, things are flying, maybe even self-harming is starting. And you feel your chest tighten and your thoughts race and your heart pound and you want to yell. You want to do something fast. But instead, you pause. You take a breath. You get down low. You keep your voice a little lower and you just be there. Your calm body becomes the anchor in their storm. And that's what today is all about. Dysregulation is contagious, but so is regulation. Dysregulation is energy and energy is contagious. So when one person in the home is dysregulated and no one else knows how to stay regulated, the whole house goes up like a match. But here's the good news. Just like dysregulation can spread throughout your house, so can regulation. And you can be the one to set that tone. So how do we help our kids regulate when they're spiraling? Well, it starts with co-regulation, the process of helping someone manage their emotions and behaviors through your modeling and presence. And here's the piece most of us skip. You have to create space between their meltdown and your reaction, space between your own emotion and their behavior, space in your mind, your environment, your schedules, so you can breathe before you react. Because without space, your nervous system stays on high alert, and it's nearly impossible to access the tools that you know you should be using. Dysregulation isn't drama, it's biology. And this is important. Dysregulation isn't your child being bad or manipulative. It's their nervous system saying, this is too big for me right now. Kids aren't born knowing how to regulate their emotions. It's a learned skill, and you have to be their teacher. Think about it. Your child is regulated when they feel sad about turning off the computer, but they manage the feeling. They turn it off and they move on. They're dysregulated when their sadness feels so overwhelming that they scream and they throw things instead. In that moment, they don't need you to be perfectly calm. They need you to be regulated enough to be the anchor they can tether to. So why is this hard, and why are you still capable of it? Well, let's be honest, being the calm in a dysregulated family is hard. It requires more than patience. It requires practice, self-awareness, and sometimes grieving what you expected parenting to be. Many of us weren't raised in regulated homes. We weren't taught how to sit with big emotions, let alone guide someone else through them. So if you're thinking, I'm not regulated, I'm exhausted, I'm triggered too, you're not alone. But here's the good news. Regulation in yourself is a skill, and you can build it. So I want to give you 5 ways I coach the moms I work with to do this. The first thing you have to do is name what's happening out loud. Say to yourself, I'm taking a deep breath because I feel frustrated. You're modeling emotion regulation in real time. Number 2, breathe before you speak. 1 deep inhale and exhale can interrupt the autopilot reaction that your body is used to allowing to happen. The third thing is what I talked about before. Lower your voice and get lower to the ground, because your physical posture can be just as regulating as your words. Physical posture matters. Going lower feels safer to a dysregulated child. Number 4 is delay your reaction. When things escalate, pause before responding. Give yourself 5 seconds before you respond. That's enough time for your thinking brain to catch up. Even a 5-second delay buys you time to choose your response. Number 5, have a personal reset routine, whether that's stepping outside, turning on music, or repeating a mantra like I have used for years. He's having a hard time. He's not giving me a hard time. Because taking things personal is a really difficult part of this journey. We always feel like they're doing it to us. You have to remind yourself that they are having a hard time. They're not doing this to you on purpose. Have a go-to move for when you feel your own emotions rising. And let me just say, if you've ever gone to bed thinking, I handled that all wrong, you are not broken and you are not failing. You are learning a skill you were never taught. And that takes time. So I want to talk about the ripple effect of calm. When you regulate yourself, it ripples out to everyone. You never know. Your partner might start to follow your lead. Your other kids may notice it too. Your child's nervous system slowly begins to trust the process. And over time, you create a home where it's okay to feel big things because you've shown them what to do with them. Emotions are real, and you want your child to know how to process them. That's the goal. You're not stopping their meltdowns. You're becoming the safe place that they can come back to. And mama, listen, this isn't easy. I know it takes work. I know it takes showing up even when you're tired, even when you wish it were different. And listen, you're not going to nail this every time, and you don't have to. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness, intention, and trying again when you get it wrong. Because trust me, you will. When your child sees you notice your own dysregulation, you pause, you choose a next better step, they're learning exactly what you want them to know. Feelings aren't dangerous. We can move through them without losing ourselves. You don't have to be the calm. You just have to be that safe anchor that your child can come back to when everything feels too big. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to keep practicing. And every time you do, you're teaching your child something they couldn't learn any other way. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. Whether you watch today's episode or listen, like always, I'm just really grateful that you're here. And listen, if you're tired of trying to figure this out all on your own, if you're overwhelmed, if you're exhausted, or just craving real connection with other moms who get it, I want to personally invite you to check out our private membership. You can get all the details at www.notyouraverageautismmom.com. That's where the real coaching, support, connection, and community for this life that you didn't expect, but you're learning to embrace. And one more thing, if today's episode made you feel a little more understood, would you take 60 seconds to leave a review? It might feel small, but it helps another mom who's sitting there feeling like she's the only one find this podcast and know that she's not alone. So until next week, take a deep breath, hold your head high, and remember, above all, you, mama, are doing amazing at this mom thing.